With around 200 countries and more than 7.5 billion people, the world is full of interesting, fun, and fascinating people, places, and things. Did you know that the longest place name on the planet is 85 letters long? Or what the coldest temperature ever recorded was? Hungry for fascinating, hilarious, and interesting facts about the world? Then make sure you watch this video to the end. Number 1. The only places you can't buy Coca-Cola. No matter where you go, it's comforting to know you can always enjoy a Coca-Cola. Well, almost. While this fizzy drink is sold practically everywhere, it still hasn't officially made its way to North Korea or Cuba. That's because these countries are under long-term U.S. trade embargoes. However, some folks say you might be able to snag a sip of the stuff if you try hard enough. Number 2. The entire world's population could fit inside Los Angeles. The world's total population is more than 7.5 billion, and obviously that number sounds huge. However, it might feel a little more manageable once you learn that if every single one of those people stood shoulder to shoulder, they could all fit within the 500 square miles of Los Angeles. Number 3. There are more twins now than ever before. You might think twins are a rarity, but they're actually becoming more common than ever. Scientists believe this trend is due to the fact that older women tend to have more twins, and women are choosing to start families later. Fertility treatments such as in vitro fertilization is likely also to play a role. Number 4. More people visit France than any other country. France is a beautiful country, filled to the edge with delicious wines, delicious cheese, and tons of romance. So it's no surprise that more people want to visit France than any other country in the world. Number 5. The hottest chili pepper in the world. The weapons-grade Dragon's Breath chili pepper is so hot, it's deadly. If you ate one, it could potentially cause a type of anaphylactic shock, burning the airways and closing them up. Number 6. The Canary Islands are named after dogs, not birds. It might seem safe to assume that the Canary Islands were named after canary birds, but the location was actually named after dogs. Although it's off the coast of northwestern Africa, the archipelago is part of Spain. In Spanish, the area's name is Islas Canarias, which comes from the Latin phrase for island of dogs. Number 7. Shortest people in the world. There are short people and tall people everywhere, but Indonesia is home to some of the shortest people in the world. People in Bolivia don't tend to be much taller. The tallest people among us live in the Netherlands. Number 8. The world's quietest room. Silence is golden, as they say. And while it may not be worth quite as much like jewels and gold to most people, it certainly was the primary goal for those who built the quietest room in the world. Located at Microsoft's headquarters in Redmond, Washington. Number 9. Countries in the world that don't use the metric system. For simplicity's sake, most of the more than 200 countries in the world use the metric system when describing things like length or mass. However, 3 countries stand out: Liberia, Myanmar, and the United States. Number 10. The longest place name on the planet. People who live in, well, we'll just write these names on the screen. Need a little patience when it comes to learning to spell their hometown's name. But you know what? So do the folks from Lake in Massachusetts and in South Africa. But none of them have quite as much work to do when writing down their address as those who live in from New Zealand, which with 85 letters is the longest place name in the world. Number 11. 4 babies are born every second. Every second. We welcome 4 new babies into our overall population. Do a little math and you'll find out that means there are approximately 250 births each minute, 15,000 each hour, and 360,000 each day. Number 12. The coldest temperature ever recorded. You might think you're accustomed to frigid air and blustery winds, but the average winter day has nothing on the coldest day ever recorded, which was negative 144 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature was recorded in Antarctica during a span of research between 2004 and 2016. Just a few breaths of air at that temperature would induce hemorrhaging in your lungs and kill you. Number 13. The Earth's ozone layer recovery. Because of pollution, the Earth's ozone layer has suffered a lot. That's bad news for everyone since the fragile gas layer protects our plants and shields us from the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays. Fortunately, climate change experts believe that the ozone layer will fully heal within 50 years. Number 14. The world's most earthquake-prone country. Earthquakes can range from minor tremors that are barely noticeable to building-toppling ground shakers that cause massive destruction. But it's an inevitable part of life for those who live in countries such as China, Indonesia, Iran, and Turkey, which are some of the most earthquake-prone places on the planet. However, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, Japan records the most earthquakes in the world. Number 15. The total number of people who have ever lived. Since the time Homo sapiens first hit the scene 50,000 years ago, more than 108 billion members of our species have been born. And a large part of that number is alive right now. The number of people alive today represents a huge 7% of the total number of humans who have ever lived. Number 16. The most popular name in the world. Step aside, John, James, Mary, and Jane. The most popular name in the world is believed to be Muhammad. An estimated 150 million men and boys around the world share this name. The popularity is thanks to a Muslim tradition of naming each firstborn son after the Islamic prophet. Number 17. The youngest country in the world. Some countries are hundreds of years old, while others can trace their nation's history back for thousands of years. But South Sudan in North Africa just gained its independence from Sudan in 2011, which currently makes it the youngest country in the world. Number 18. More than 52% of the world's population is under 30 years old. According to the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, as of 2012, 50.5% of the world's population were people under the age of 30. Number 19. There are more than 24 time zones around the world. If the Earth's time zones were each 1 hour apart, then we would have 24 time zones, which sounds pretty straightforward. However, the situation is a little more complicated than that. Since many time zones only differ by 30 or 45 minutes, they don't fit into a neat and tidy 24-hour span, which means that there are more than 24. Number 20. All giant pandas in zoos around the world are on loan from China. The panda at your local zoo may look like it's at home in its cozy sanctuary, but unless you live in China, the pandas that you're seeing are just visiting. That's because every one of the gentle giants in zoos around the world are on loan from China. Number 21. The most typical human. According to a study developed for National Geographic in 2011, the world's most typical person is right-handed, makes less than $12,000 per year, has a mobile phone, and doesn't have a bank account. Number 22. The most spoken language in the world. With around 950 million native speakers and an additional 200 million people speaking Mandarin Chinese as a second language, it's the most popular language in the world. Number 23. Genghis Khan's descendants. During his lifetime between 1162 and 1227, Genghis Khan fathered countless children. Scientists now believe that around 1 in every 200, or 16 million men, is a direct descendant of him. Number 24. The Facebook population. Do you use Facebook? If you don't, you're among a number that gets increasingly smaller every day. In fact, 2 billion active users have an account on the social media platform, which is more than the population of the United States, China, and Brazil combined. Number 25. All the ants on Earth weigh about as much as all the humans. The total population of people who are alive on Earth hasn't even hit 8 billion. At the same time, 10 quadrillions individual ants are crawling around at any given time. But we must also remember that humans are getting fatter all the time. We're not just increasing in population, we're increasing in fatness. So maybe we left the ants behind. Number 26. A country with the largest number of pets. People who live in New Zealand seem to love having an animal companion around. That's why 68% of households in the country have a pet, which is more than any other nation in the world. Number 27, the world's largest city. Not only by Japanese standards, but also compared to cities around the world. With around 37 million people living in Tokyo, it's the world's largest city when it comes to population size. The next largest city is Delhi, India, population 29 million, and Shanghai, China, 26 million. Number 28, International Criminal Police Organization. These days, Interpol may be well known for tracking down outlaws around the world, but the group dates back to 1914, when the International Criminal Police Congress was held in Monaco. Number 29, 43 countries still have a royal family. The British royal family may be the most famous royal family on the planet, but there are still plenty of other nobles out there. And number 30, nearly 2 people die each second. While 4 babies are born on Earth every second, it's estimated that around 2 people pass away at the same time. What is the fact that you found most intriguing? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. Take a look at our other videos and don't forget to subscribe.